Hello, my name is LaDonna, and I am here to talk to you about stress. So, what is stress? Stress is the physical responses that occur when the body fails to respond properly to emotional and physical threats. Some of those threats, to name a few, are extreme temperatures, infections, shock, or excessive exercise. It is important to note that it doesn't matter the source of the stressor or threat. The body responds the same in short-term and long-term reactions. Some of the short-term reactions are normally developed in a headache, chest pain, upset stomach, anxiety, restlessness, overeating, drug, and alcohol abuse. The long-term reaction to stress occurs in the general adaptation syndrome. The general adaptation syndrome simply states that physical changes that occur in response to long-term stress are developed in 3 stages. Those stages are called the alarm, resistance, and exhaustion stages. In stage 1, which is called the general alarm reaction, the body releases stress hormones. In the second stage, which is the resistance, the body adapts to ongoing threats and tries to return to normal functions by elevating the glucose and blood pressure levels. Stage 3, or the final stage, which is called exhaustion, is the most serious of stages because it can lead to death. In this stage, the body runs out of the reserve energy, causing glucose and stress tolerance levels to decrease, along with organ and mental failures. In other words, the long-term reactions translate to majorly impacting the body's hormones, nervous system, and heart. The body releases the stress hormone called cortisol, which releases sugars into the bloodstream, which also results to high blood sugar levels. The autonomic nervous system controls unconscious functions of the body, such as heart rate, respiratory rate, and under pressure, this area is heightened or aroused. The impacts of stress to the heart leads to heart disease by elevated levels of high blood pressure and cholesterol. Now, men and women typically respond to stress differently. Men are more susceptible to respond to stress through fight or flight. Fight or flight is an emotional and behavioral reaction to stress. Men will either attack or become aggressive in a fight response, or they will retreat to a safety and a flight response. Women, on the other hand, activate the approach of tend and befriend response to stress. The tend and befriend is a behavioral reaction to stress that involves creating social networks that provide protection from threats. Women will talk to others about her concerns, and she will also exchange resources to help the situation. Out of the 2 behavioral responses, the tend and befriend is the healthier reaction because the body releases pleasant hormones like oxytocin, whereas the fight or flight reaction releases cortisol. So, why is it important to manage stress? Stress is an emotional response that can kill us. It is known as the silent killer. But on a lighter note, managing stress can help people be more productive, obtain their goals, keep them healthy and happy, and cope positively to negative events. Some of the ways that people can be positive and manage stress is through optimism, self-efficacy, and hardiness. Optimism is the tendency to expect positive outcomes. Self-efficacy is self-belief that we can carry out actions to produce the intended outcome. Now, when someone embodies both self-efficacy and optimism, this is known as hardiness. People who are hardy respond positively to stressful life events. They take action to understand the cause of negative events, and they learn from events that will better impact the future. A couple of strategies that someone can do in order to cope with stress is through regular physical activity like walking or aerobic exercise, and keeping a sense of humor by expanding their point of view to a lighthearted or comical one. Personally, I was able to deal with stress by implementing optimism in my approach. As an analyst on my job, I was given the task to write a detailed business requirements document within a few days. Instead of thinking negatively, I immediately became excited about the challenge and expected to complete the writing of the document in 2 days. By reacting positively, it allowed me to see what I am made of under pressure, which increased my belief in myself or self-efficacy. Now, there has been a time where I did not respond positively to a situation. I was in a relationship with an ex-partner for some time, and the issues of not communicating effectively and not seeing eye to eye tremendously elevated my stress levels. My emotional response to this situation resulted in me gaining over 30 pounds during the course of the relationship. I became more anxious, and I felt a lot of pain in my stomach and my chest. By responding this way, I put myself at major risk to developing the general adaptation syndrome that could have led to serious health problems. But luckily, I'm no longer in that situation. So this concludes my talk about stress. I hope for now and forever that we choose to take a positive approach when reacting to stress. Thank you.